Okay, this is the Welcome to English 1020 video part 2. I want to continue discussing some of these core points of the class. Again, just a little bit of a reminder here. I've talked about the unique nature of an online class. The admonition not to let yourself into the I'll take an incomplete mindset. Unless it's absolutely necessary. And if you feel like that is ever the case, you need to document everything, all right? And then you need to let your teacher know as soon as you mentally decide that you're going to head into this incomplete land. As soon as that happens, let us know. Never. We are very reluctant to really get on your side, fully committed. If it's like we don't see you online, nothing happening for 5 weeks, and then at the very end, like the day before the class ends, you send us this panic email. That's not the right way to go about it. We've talked about the portfolio. Just a quick summary of that. All right, I need to have a body of work that you produce online. All right, so it's not gonna have any paper in it, but all the content's going to be there, right? The writing and the essay stuff. And in this body of work, you need to have 5,000 words of final draft quality writing. And that constitutes, or that's coming from maybe 4, 5, or 6 writing assignments. Okay, so in our class we're going to have 6 writing assignments. One's going to be the final research paper, the completed research paper. We'll have some critiques in there. We'll have a philosophical analysis essay. We'll have other stuff like that, right? But we'll have 6 writing assignments total for all 6 altogether, 5,000 words. And this portfolio needs to be 70% of your grade. So now I'm not going to have the portfolio come in like all at once at the last week. Throughout these lessons, all right, I'll let you know as soon as you encounter one of the portfolio elements. I'll say portfolio assignment number 1, write a critique on this. Portfolio assignment number 2, write an interpretation of this, and that sort of thing. So I'll clarify up there on the title of the assignment whether or not that particular thing is a portfolio element. Now, just doing that is going to allow some of you to start thinking in terms of, oh, this is a portfolio element. Oh, this is just another class thing. All right, and I can't really argue against that. But it might not be the best way to approach the work because they're all going to have point values. The portfolio elements will have higher point values. They need to be weighted more. But the other assignments are going to have point values too. And they all work together, okay? Now, you might not see the connections, but the connections are there. They're very clear to me how this type of work and this thing I ask you to do and this other thing I ask you to do, which apparently may not look completely connected at the surface level. I'm thinking, okay, they're developing skill, this skill over here and that skill over here, and that skill is going to help them pick an interesting topic. This to everyone, not just to themselves. This skill over here is going to help them find better sources than the ones they may be initially drawn to. And it all works together, okay? So everything in the class is important. And you might have one assignment that's worth 1 point, one that's worth 9 points, but they all work together, okay? And they all need to be done. And you might also want to think of this class in terms of, grading and assessments and all that as just a bucket. And in the bucket go 104 points. So at the end of the day, how many of those points did you get? Divide that by how many possible points. There's your percentage, and that's going to be your grade. So, by the way, I will more, on our course site, you'll find the grading scale, written out so that you can understand where you are in terms of percentages and that sort of thing. So grades, letter grades, that sort of thing. But this whole idea of there's portfolio work and there's not portfolio work it kind of creates a false dichotomy in the class, and I would rather you not really think about that. But I needed to explain the portfolio because everything in the portfolio is weighted differently, so you might tend to think it's way more important than the other stuff, but not so. All right. Unless you think that an individual brick is not important to a house made of bricks. We'll take, after you pull enough individual bricks out, the house goes down, right? So, of course, they're important. I will allow you to, in your writing assignments, to watch the videos that give you feedback on how to improve your writing. And then if you want to resubmit work, that's fine, all right? And I'll regrade it, and then whenever you stop resubmitting, we'll call that the final draft. And that particular version and that score of that version will work its way into your portfolio. So you're welcome to revise your work that way. However, what I don't want you to think is that for a writing assignment you can send in something just kind of half-baked and say, well, this is my first draft. I don't have any assignment that says, hey, this is just a first draft turn-in thing. For every assignment, I want you to think, hey, I gotta think about this. I gotta maybe practice it out, maybe type out a few lines. I need to write a paragraph or two here, let it sit for a day, come back. Tomorrow I'll finish it up, then I'll look over it, then I'll revise those typos, I'll fix that sentence structure, I'll look back at the assignment requirements to make sure that my work is aligned with those requirements, and then boom, I'm sending it in, right? Because it looks good. I want everything that you send in for a grade to look good. So don't think, well, Horn will let me revise it because it's just, and then so you send in, no, I'll give you a a 2 out of 9, and then you can revise it to a 3 out of 9. So do your best work from the get-go, all right, and then we'll make that good work even better through the feedback and through things like that. So I am going to probably post. I may sometimes I don't do this, but I think I will post a lot of work online up for you at once. And I just know that some of you have a busy work week coming up, or something 2 weeks from now, and you'd like to work ahead. So I'll let you do that, but please, let's stay away from two extremes. Extreme number 1, you get everything done in a week. I'll probably give you some point values for that stuff, and just but can you really get all this done in a week and get it done right and learn from it? In my mind, you're grade hunting. All right, you're just trying to get through the class and get it done. You may be a writing genius with a lot of time on your hands, and you just may love to do it. So I'm not going to say that's an impossibility, but I think you're cramming. And whatever you cram for, it doesn't stick. You're great. You're trying to get that grade and get it done and get it out of your way. So, don't do that. The second mistake would be to not do anything until the last 2 weeks of the class. That's bad too, because it's all a process. All right, it's all a process, and you need to start on the first day of the class. Do a week's worth of work in 1 week. Do another week's worth of work in another week. Go at a disciplined and carefully paced speed, because I pace this speed with design. I want the ideas to percolate in you. It's like a fine cup of coffee, all right? Hopefully, let's see if I can work this metaphor without letting it just break down on itself. But listen, you get the good grounds, right? And you get them together in that filter. You get the hot coffee water and you pour it in there, and you just let it sit, right? You let it soak and get the richness out, and it drip, 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 drips out. And have you ever watched a coffee pot? Actually, okay, I have. All right, because my coffee pot just broke the other day. It was given to my wife and I as I think an anniversary gift. So it's like this $100 coffee pot. And I'm not spending $100 on a coffee pot. So I went and I got a $15 coffee pot. It's a piece of junk. My wife made me return it, so credit to her, right? Because it really was a piece of junk. So then someone gave us this I don't know, this thing you put over the cup. It's like a bowl with a hole in it, and you put the filter in there, and you put the hot water in it, and you just let it sit on your cup, and you get one cup out of this thing. But you just sit and watch this thing. It's like, come on, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, drip, 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 drip. But the coffee's great, you know, because it percolated. Now, when you come to academics, all right, academics is not about earning a grade. Academics is about teasing out an original idea with mileage, something that is actually going to be relevant, that's going to be valuable, that has some sort of uniqueness or originality, and it's idea formation. All right, now you need content to get those ideas. Ideas don't happen in a vacuum. So you read and you listen and you read and you watch and you read and you study and you're getting all this content. But with that content, you got to be able to form those ideas. Okay, and it's hard. It's hard work. And I can't believe students expect to come up with a genuinely good idea in 2 weeks. No, that doesn't happen. You plant the seed, and then you just go and do other work, and then boom, you get and then your mind starts chewing on something, and then you put some more in a week later, and then you take a break and do some other stuff, but your mind keeps on working on that, and then the third week you put some more in, and you do some more work, and your mind starts wrapping itself around the techniques and the methods, and it has this time of cognitive growth like a plant. All right, you don't see a plant just spring up out of the ground as soon as you put the seed in there, and you don't. Like on the other side is you don't plant the garden in April and then water it every day until late August without seeing anything, and then there's the plant middle of August, right there it is. That doesn't happen that way, right? It grows slowly, and you got to give yourself time to grow as a thinker, and you do that by saying, this is the week's worth of work. I'm going to do it this week. I'm going to get it done by Saturday. Then I'm going to go to week 2. And I'm going to get this done. I need to work a little bit ahead, so I'll get this done by Thursday. Then I'll get this next one done by Thursday, but then I'm going to get back on schedule because I need that carefully paced progression. Because essentially, I don't want to call it your subconscious. I don't like that term because it's logically infeasible, but your liminal mental capacities, that realm of your mind that works while you're thinking about something else, you give it the seeds, you give it the content, and you just let it work. And sometimes it needs a day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and then boom, the ideas start happening. But if you sit down and you say, I got 3 hours to write this thing, I put it off for 4 weeks, and now I got to do it, and you're like, come on, brain, it doesn't work. So that was crazy. That was long. That was a long admonition to say to you, just stay on track. All right, don't rush to get it all done. And don't put it off all the way to the end. Okay, so this comes back to the thing I opened up with, and that it's an online class. It's a challenging thing. It has its own peculiar issues. And one large one that stands in the way of students, and is not a reflector necessarily of their cognitive ability. It's rather a reflector of their time management and their initiative and their ability to imagine how this class has value right now. How the class you're taking right now has value in the future. You imagine how valuable it can be to get these skills even though you may not see it right now. And you invest by doing the work, doing it right, listening, reading, watching, all right, to find the fruits 2 or 3 years down the line. It just means you got to do it. You got to get up when you feel like sleeping. You got to get to the computer when you feel like going up or hungry, you want to eat or you want to play or you want to do something else. And it's like, I just want to break. Well, no, wait, schedule your breaks. All right, maybe take 1 day off a week. But I would suggest that you touch base, you work for at least 30 minutes or for 40 minutes, 5 days out of 7, 6 days out of 7. You find your own pace, but do it right. Do it. Give yourself a fair chance, and part of that is just the proper pacing and the ability to say to yourself, I'm going to get back to that place. I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to type out the stuff and I'm going to do the work, and then I'll finish and then I'll go out. So best to you. All right. You can always email me, and my email addresses, I'll provide that online at our class sites. I will get back to you within 24 hours. If I don't, that's a problem with me, and I apologize for that. But I do check my email at least once a day. And then the other thing is, please, I would rather you send me an email so I can start various archives with it and that sort of thing, as opposed to just a message in Blackboard. All right. Always, watch the videos. As far as the textbooks go, I'll tell you where to go with that. I'm required to use a certain textbook, so you need to. The bookstore should have that information as far as what book is needed for that campus, for that English class. Now, for online work, I definitely would appreciate it if for say example, in the discussions, you maintain absolute respect for each other. All right, and you realize that whatever you are providing a written record, and it needs to be professional. It needs to be cordial. Speak the truth, but be polite about it, and no in any way, all right, no anonymous work that just is disrespectful to anyone. And please, be full of integrity as you do your work. Do not seek for others' help and assistance with quizzes and things like that off on the side. All right, do your own work. You yourself sit at the computer and write the essays. So much depends on that, and there is no truly, efficient and respectful way to, keep tabs on that. At the end of the day, I need you to sit down and, do your own work, and I'll have to take your word for it, right? Because I just, there are ways to get around that, and I don't want you to go searching for those ways, all right? Okay, stay focused and begin. Begin as soon as you can open up the assignments. Again, please let me know. Let me know if you see any strange things that you really suspect that can't be right, or that's got to be from another semester when he did something differently, or just weird things. For example, I'll never give a negative score. Okay, I'll never give a negative score. So, but when I go into enter scores for submitted work, often there's a hyphen. There'll be a hyphen right there, in the box that I have to erase first before I put your grade. And if I'm not careful, I can leave that hyphen, which the computer reads as a minus sign. And it's been more than once that I've given a minus score by accident. All right. So please, when that happens, just email me and say, I think you made a mistake with my score. I got a minus score. And on the flip side, and now I have had students tell me this, it's like, hey, I think you gave me too much because you gave me a 20 out of a 9 or something because I just hit too many keys. So, I never give bonus points like that. If the most you can earn on an assignment is 9, that's what you're going to get, a 9. You're not going to get a 10. So if you see anything above the maximum points you can earn, let me know. So those are some things where you just know there's a problem here. I appreciate that. Well, for the grading, because I need to be right with my grading. But the second thing is it just helps me make a lot of these things better for the next semester. So if you find anything wrong or funny or not opening or not set up right, please let me know. I do appreciate that. All right. Have a great rest of this day, and I wish you the best as you begin the work. Take advantage of the energy that you may have when you realize at the beginning of the class, let's go, and then get that work done so that you can make it through the middle slump, right? All right, take care.